Hi everybody, this is Anthony from Sunny Creates. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope that everyone has had a good start to 2022 and that you managed to get quite a bit of crafting in. For me, it's not been the same. I am still on leave. I go back to work next week, Wednesday. However, in South Africa, our new school terms or holiday, the start of this new school term starts in January. So this is the time when our kids go back to start the next grade, if I could put it like that. And then we have 4 terms, and our longest holiday is in December. And that is what we term our summer holidays because we are in the southern hemisphere. So it's busy getting textbooks for my son, finding out prices and things like that, because some of the schools go back next week Wednesday, as early as next week's Wednesday, and I know my son is going back there then. But enough about me. I just thought I'll tell you all a little bit about how it works in South Africa, because it kind of is a bit different in other parts of the world. So today I'm going to bring you a project which is a part of the initially U 2022 project collaboration. So there's 6 people involved, or 6 YouTubers involved in this, and they are Corey Darman, and that's from Creating with Scraps. Gail Augustinelli, please. If I get the pronunciations wrong, please do excuse me. I'll try better the next time. So it's Gail Augustinelli from Gail Augustinelli, her YouTube channel. Sue from Paper Inspiration. Marlis from Molly Design. Tracy from Tracy Fox Creative, and Wendy from Wendy's Journal Adventure. And from what I've seen so far, it seems that Corey has come up with this idea, and the rest of the ladies are involved in it, or from what I'm hearing rather, where they wanted to, each one wanted to do a project, if I'm not mistaken, on New Year's Day, and they wanted to post their YouTube videos just to give a good kick off to the new year. And it is titled hashtag initially U22 2022, and the reason why it's called that is because we are encouraged as creators and crafters to use our initials in order to be able to get prompts for those to create to use that as prompts for our creation, if I could say that. So my name is Santhani Naidu, so my initials would be S and N, and I want to show you something that I created, and then I'm going to try to reproduce this in some way or the other. And this is what I did, what I used in terms of S and N. So for the S, I use scraps. I use scrap pieces of paper, and you can see I've got scrap pieces of paper over here that I'm going to be using. I've used, just give me a second, I actually wrote it down, stamps. So here's some stamps here and there. And then this is also stamping over here. Sorry, not stamping, I lie. Stencils. So in the background, I stenciled. I sprayed the vellum pieces, but these are not vellum. These are tracing paper. So I use sprays to change the color of the tracing paper. I hope it's coming up on the camera. That and that. Okay. And then I splattered with white ink. And then I, added a few other stuffs. And then for Naidu, I use napkins. So this is a napkin. I decoupaged a flower on. But in South Africa, we actually don't say napkins, we say serviettes. So it's still with the S, so I got lucky there. And then I use numbers. So there's a number there, there's some numbers here, a number there, and a number there. And yeah, and then there is a number here, I think. No, that's not a number, that's an R there. And yeah, and I just and I sewed, so I also did sewing on mine. So I'm going to try to reproduce this one or show you what I did over here. So let's get started. I'm going to leave that there. And if you follow my channel, you know I love using I like to repurpose, so I like recycling. And this is a cardboard or that I cut out from a pie box. So you know, our ready-made pies. So this is the box that I managed to cut out. This was the front of the box and this was the inner of the box. But I'm going to use this side. If you look closely, you can see some oil stains because they were already baked pies. And the tag measures 7.5 centimeters by 15 centimeters. So 7.5 centimeters wide by 15 centimeters long. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add the scraps. Now, before we add the scraps, let's rather ink our edges. The only thing that I did ink was the edges on this one. And I was inspired by an Instagram post, and it was Love for Paper by Gia. I think that's her Instagram handle. But yes, I'll try and link it because I think that's what it was called, because there were some underscores in it, I remember. So I was inspired by her with my tag. Okay, so I am using at the moment ground espresso distress ink. Sorry, I should have inked it. Completely forgot. Now you have to watch me inking, but it's done. Right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some papers. So what I tried to do is I tried to get pages of a little bit of a different color here and there. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Not all over is a different color. You'll see that some are the same. So let's take this piece over here because I've got other pieces here as well. Now this here, I can't even tell you where I got this from, but it's just trying to use up my scraps. It's probably a book, and I think it was the index of the book, if I'm not mistaken. Want to take out that edge over there. So I was looking for this glue stick forever and I was trying to do a cleanup of my craft room and I managed to find it, but oh, you can see what happened. And I swear I bought maybe 6 to 9 of these glue sticks, but I have no idea. You know, it's so hard to believe that I could have used them all up. So I probably, when I bought new furniture for my craft room and rearranged it, I must have left it somewhere out of this craft room because I can't find it anywhere. So we'll cut down the edges that we don't like. I'm going to see whether this little one is any better. Yeah, I think so. Let's look at this. Normally I will use glue, but this seemed to have held up pretty well, so I'm going to use that. And it's Statler Norris Club. It's the same thing, but just a smaller version of it. And on this one over here, I was trying to play around with some stains, and I used normal glue, and I added some ground espresso or walnut stain. I think it was walnut stain, one of the two, you know, the re-inkers, and I created something like this. And then I dulled the color down by adding just a bit more of the white glue to it. So I was playing around with this, but I mean, that was quite a while back, probably the beginning of last year. So I had these pages. And I was supposed to put this underneath somewhere there, and I can still do it, thankfully. Sorry, it's quite late in the evening here, but it is our summer, so it's still really hot, and I've got the aircon on. That's not going to last long. I also found that. So it's strange for me not to ink, but I kind of like the effect. It's a little bit more fresher. And I'll trim down the edges if I haven't already mentioned that. So just some music paper to add to the bottom. Okay, I had to look to see whether I am pasting that music paper the correct side where I am. I looked at the rest of the sheet from where I tore it out. Yeah, so I thought that this was quite a fun project to do, and I know that the YouTubers, I watched Corey's, and I watched Wendy's so far, and I watched Tracy's, and I know that they asked that if you would like to be involved in it, then all you've got to do is you've got to just use the hashtag initially U2022 if you want to post your creations on social media. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to use pigment ink in Glacier White, and I'm going to do some stenciling. So those were our scraps. Sorry, my work desk is very small, so I have a lot of things going on over here. No, I have no idea where I've got the stencil from. It was from our, you know, our local, we call them China malls here in South Africa. So I bought a few of those a while ago. So that's what I'm using. I also make some of my stencils using my silhouette cameo, because I do have a silhouette cameo, and just so that you know, I make it using, because you know, the real stencil material is quite expensive here. And so what I do is I buy the acetate, and I use acetate and I cut it. Okay, so it doesn't have the same you know, sturdiness as a stencil like this would have, but it does the job. So yes, you got to be more careful with it for sure. But yeah, I mean, you know, when you're trying to cut down on your craft supplies because everything around here is so expensive, then you get alternatives. So you must be wondering why I'm actually loading it up that much. And the reason is because most of it is going to get blocked. So I really don't know what's going to show and what's not going to show at this point. So hence the reason for me, sorry for stretching, loading, you know, doing quite a bit of it. Great, so I've dried that now, and if you look at the white, it seems to be much more vibrant now after I've dried it. Now what I did with my previous one is I went ahead and I decoupaged the flower on, and then I went in here and there and I stamped. But what I realized is that I didn't get proper images simply because it wasn't stamping over the you know, the gluey part. So I'm going to reverse the technique here a bit, and let's see how successful that's going to be. So I've got some stamps out here. I use quite a bit of stamps. I'm going to tell you what stamps I use. So these two were from here and here, and that is the Tim Holtz collection field notes. Okay, so these two, and then this one is from here, and that is the Tim Holtz collection ticket booth. And then I'm going to use the postage stamp from here, and that's Studio Light. Janine's, trying to not get the light on it, Janine's Mindful Art Collections New Awakening, and there's a number here, JMA dash NA dash stamp 20. So I'm not sure whether that is the name, but that's the one. And then I'm going to use a large number 9. And what's that? And it's Clear Stamps Numbers by Wilson. The importer is Wilson and McLachlan. I don't know where I got this from. I have no idea. It's probably my local uh, craft store, because I can see that I can recognize that, what's the word, the pricing tag. And then I use this one here, which is Dough Crafts Creativity Essentials Clear Stamps in Alpha's Trad. A5 clear stamps in Alpha's Trad. And that's it. I can't find any other name for it, hey? That's it. And I use the 2 and the 4. And the 2 and 4 is because my birthday's on the 24th. Okay, so we're going to do that. So I'm going to use 2 types of ink on this. For the for the normal stamps, not the numbers, I'm going to use the Archival ink by Ranger in Ground Espresso. Doing a little bit of masking because I want it more on this side. Yeah. I'll just leave them in here. I'll clean them a bit later. And then, sorry. Okay, so that's what, another one. And then I think, yeah, we're gonna put the other one there as well. So we'll see how it goes. And then the last, oh no, sorry, I not lied. This one I want to add it again a bit to the bottom. But I want to not have such a dark image. Okay, and then I'm going to use a darker color on that. And this is the Ranger Archival ink in Jet Black that I'm going to be using. Ranger Archival ink in Jet Black. If I can get it open. Yeah, no, it's not the best of quality of stamps. So it's giving me a little bit of heartache and pain. Just see how that's going to stamp. Oh, sorry about that, ladies and gents. You know what I forgot is I forgot to add my stamp, but I can't see it anyway, so it's fine. Let's try it. See? Oh my goodness. If there's a tip on how to hold these stamps, please let me know. They seem to lose their stickiness. And I swear to you, I haven't even used this a lot. This, you know, maybe the ink pad, not the ink pad, the stamp itself. See, that's not nice. Let's try the two. Let's hope the two. I don't know. I've never tried this before, and I probably should never do this, but let's try it. Well, it worked, but it may not be the best of things that I did there. I don't think I'm using the stamp pad, the stamp block again, so sorted that out hopefully. Right, so that's the stamping, and then what I found here, let's get rid of that. What I wanted to add, I found a nice number. I thought I'm gonna add this number in just now. Let's see where the flower sits, and then we'll know where to add the number. This little number here. Okay. Right, so that is done there. Now we're going on to the flower, to decoupage the flower. And this is the napkin that I've got. Got it for many moons now, so you know, yeah, I'm gonna use it, but I'm sure that what would work well are stickers, transparent stickers, but I don't have transparent stickers, so the next best thing, I guess, is a napkin. So there's that flower, and I wish I just took out more on this side. Sorry, I was out of frame there. There's the flower. It's amazing that this tag is like 7.5 by 15 centimeters. Yet there are so many techniques that can be incorporated into one tag. Isn't that just amazing? I love it. Love it. Right, so homemade Mod Podge, because yeah, it's cheaper and more readily available. What's my recipe? I think it's is it not Andrea from Artemis, her recipe? 2 parts glue to 1 part water. Right, that's dry now, so I will have to speed that up. I'll speed that up, so that's dry. Now what I wanted to show you is that I've done this homemade sprays with you know, the Sharpie marker, where you take out the inner part of the Sharpie marker, the spongy part, and then you add it to this with alcohol. So I've done it in that color, and looks like I've done it in green as well. So I'm waiting for them to finish but then the next thing I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to use gel, food gel, okay, in order to do that. And yeah, I guess maybe when I'm doing that experiment, I will bring you all along on the journey. So I had then taken those sprays, and I sprayed vellum. No, why do I always call it vellum? It's not vellum, it's tracing paper that looks like vellum. So I excuse me, I used a small punch. I'm not sure how many, quarter inch, half an inch, I'm not sure. Okay, I'll have to check it out and let you know. And then I added a piece of paper, so we can use this now, to it, and I punched it out with the paper in the background, because then the paper actually helps for the punch to go through. And then I say that, and then my punch gets stuck. No, it worked. So that's one, and then the other one. I don't know about all of you, but I have my heart in my hand sometimes when I use these punches, because sometimes you know that you're not punching the right weight of paper, you know that, but you want to punch that specific material, and then you think to yourself, is it going to jam, is it going to jam? So, and I mean, shucks, they're not cheap. They're not, these punches around here are not cheap. So I'm just trimming off the edges here. Right, so what I did is that I then took a box. Where's my box? Yes, my box. My box. And I put them in there one at a time in blue. Sorry, and I sprayed the green, and then I heat dried it, and then I sprayed the pink and I heat dried it. But I'm not going to show you that now, because I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. And that's what I got over here, those two colors. And I'm sure, I didn't think about it, but now and I'm thinking about it, could I have used distress ink? I'm sure that would have worked. Oh, that will be my next experiment. Now I'm using a little bit of glue, the glue stick. I think we might even get a better coloring if we use distress ink. Just adding it in. This is disgraceful. Using a glue that barely works. Oh well, that's that. And then, so I didn't want to waste this piece of paper, so I cut it up with my scissor. Now that's sad, because I think I cut this one very close, but let's see. And I punched it too close to the edge. Okay, we'll make a plan. sorry, I don't know whether I was in frame. Please excuse me if I wasn't, but I'm going to show you what I did. My apologies. I just took the scissor and I used the edge. Punched it out. I'm going to go back to this glue stick, even though it's shameful. It's the only one I have right now, but I have to do some stationery shopping for my son for school, so I will get some. And then, can you see what I did? I just added it to the numbers. I outlined the numbers with it. It's nothing fancy at all. That's better. So I see it is sticking out on this end over here. Oh no, this is annoying. Let me see. Don't have any. Oh, let's try this one. I have glue. Yes, no, this is better. Yes, now that works. That works. Excuse me. So we're almost done. And now I want to add this here. So what I'm going to do is just going to add that there. You know, I was telling my hubby today, we are there's so much of things to do after Christmas and New Year's, because it's just Christmas and then it's New Year's and then it's school and then it's work and stuff like that. And it's just been a crazy beginning of the year already. It's like you don't slow down and then you go back to work. So I just added a coffee dyed dye. Clearly it is too late in the evening. I just added a coffee dyed doily to it, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to cover this later on, maybe with some coffee dyed paper, whatever strikes my fancy at that point in time. So now what I need to do is I need to add the splatters. So I'm going to remove this mess from here. Oops, sorry. Take these out of the way. And before I do that, now I can use my stamp. And I couldn't use it before because I had to wait for that flower to be glued on. dropping everything on the side here. Sorry, I'm just getting my paintbrush out so that we can do our splatters. And there's my paints. I think you can see this. Too much of paint, too much of paint. Some water. Now I think it's the splatters that actually make this card pop. Well, that's my opinion. Ooh. Well, it is what it is, right? The splat. After all, I was the one that said it's the splatters that make the card pop, so that's why we left there. There's so many splatters on it. Isn't it good that you can laugh at yourself when things don't go according to how you envisaged it? You know, you have the certain vision in your mind, and then it doesn't work out that way. But the best part of it is that that's the joy of doing this journaling. It's because nothing is perfect, and even a mistake or something that didn't go according to plan, it just works and you accept it. So I'm just going to heat this up now. So that's how it's looking so far. A really nice big splatter in the middle there that I'm embracing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and I am going to sew my tag, because sewing is part of the S, and I'll come back once it's done, because firstly I don't sew very fast, and secondly I am not my machine is not that quiet. So let me do that quickly and I will be back. Okay, so I'm back now, and I did the sewing on the tag and I did it in white, and it was just so that I wanted it to match the colors on the tag. Oh, I could have done it in black too, I suppose, but that's the color thread I had in my machine. So we're on the home stretch now. What we're going to add to it is we're going to add a brad, and we are going to add some ribbon and our faux enamel dots. Sorry if I'm stretching. All I'm doing is in the side, I am measuring where the middle is. So I know where to punch my dot. And then I'm using a white brad. That's that. Add some ribbon. Adding some organza ribbon to it. excuse me. I'm so sorry for the noise. Just adding the ribbon. Here, so I see it. Just neaten that up here. Almost done. Add one here. Oh, forgive me, my nails are so untidy after this project. So we have a nice pink one. Wherever it will work, is that's where it's going to go. So I'm going to be showing you how to do the faux enamel dots in my A to Z times 2 challenge, no, series. It's not a challenge. I've used it in one of my other projects before, and I'm going to take you through how to do it if you don't get enamel dots where you live. Oh yeah, there's the little number. Remember this little number that we wanted to add? This little number that we wanted to add. Now let's add it. No, really? Oh, it's got enough glue on it. Just trying to see where this will work. No. Okay. Gosh, I should use a tweezer. It looks too like as if I did that on purpose. Ugh, does it make a difference? No, it doesn't. Still looks. Oh well, it's set there and it's set there, so we shall leave it there. Oh, sorry. So that's our tag. That's the one we created together. And that's the one oh well, the same placing. That's the one I did off camera, just so that I could get my supplies ready. Yeah. So the angle of the flower is a bit different, but other than that, it's nearly the same. Yeah. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and remember that if you are taking part in making a creation for the initially U 2022 collaboration with the 6 YouTube crafters, then please do post your creations, and I think it's on Fox Creative. Gosh, I can't remember. Tracy Fox's Facebook page, and it's on my phone. But yes, I'm not going to even say it. I'm going to I'm going to write it in the description of the video below, because I don't want to do it any injustice. But there we go. Those are the 2 tags that I created using my initials, which is S and N for napkin and numbers, but an S for scraps, splatters, stamping, stenciling, sewing, and whatever else. Yes, so take care, and thank you for watching, and thank you for spending time with me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Also, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is Sunny Creates. Also, please consider joining my Facebook page as well, in order to be part of our Facebook group, where I do post some freebies, and I'll hope to be doing a better job this year with those freebies. And take care, stay safe, be blessed, and all the very best to you and your loved ones for 2022. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.